Hi everybody, welcome back to Traders Report on 3.0 TV. So we've had quite a volatile few days and we'll dive straight into dollar index at the moment. So we have said that dollar index has followed this long-held channel since the financial crisis and when Bitcoin was born back in 2009. And every time that we've hit either support or resistance on the channel, it's actually equated with a major turn in Bitcoin price. So just looking at the last one, for example, the FTX low for Bitcoin at 15,500 corresponded precisely with a peak in dollar index. Now we've moved down on dollar index, and that's actually correlated with a rise in Bitcoin from that 15,500 low to the high of about 125,000. And we're now beginning to see the first signs of a potential rise in the dollar index. So this could correlate again with a turning point in Bitcoin. And this would kind of fit with the argument that we are in the time of the halving cycle where you would normally see a reversal in Bitcoin price or Bitcoin price peaking and then reversing. So that often happens at this point in the cycle. And I've got another chart on Bitcoin just showing that at this point we do expect to see a turn in Bitcoin. It's not precise, but just there and thereabouts. Same with this. We saw a bottom in the dollar index, and that equated with the top in the price of Bitcoin. We are moving up. We may actually retest this lower level, so we may possibly see another run high yet in Bitcoin. That's probably what I'm expecting. I've taken a closer look at Ethereum because I think there is good correlation across the market. And I'm just going to open this out into a much shorter time frame on Ethereum. Let me just open this out now and show you whereabouts we're at. So I've gone down to the 4 hour. We were actually on the monthly before, looking at where we were on the monthly. But now let me just focus on the 4 hour here. And we can see that we did move up quite impulsively in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move to give us wave 3 in red. And then we've had a very clear A, B, and C down to give us wave 4 in red. Now, following that wave 4 in red, we had a little 5 waves up. So following a correction, this is in 3 waves, A, B, C. Following correction, you expect to see impulsive movements to the upside with a 5 wave move. That is precisely what we saw. It was a clear 5 wave move. If you look carefully, I'll probably open that out a little bit now so we can see more clearly. We can see quite clearly here, wave 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, and 5 up. And normally you would expect the wave 3 to be the extended wave, the longest wave, and that's exactly what's happened here. And even the wave 3, if you looked on a shorter time frame, you would see it is broken into 5 waves. So I'm quite comfortable that this is an impulse higher for Ethereum following that big correction. And the big correction, by the way, was quite interesting because the wave 4 here was within the territory of this wave 4 here. And that is one of the guidelines for Elliott wave. That a wave 4 usually falls into territory of the previous wave 4 of lesser degree. And this is a lower degree wave 4. This is a larger degree wave 4 here. And that's precisely what happened. So it actually finished at a really good level. And we saw what I would call a capitulation wick, where price tests much, much lower and fails within that single 4 hour candle and finishes much higher. So that's a really good sign that that's a potential turning point. And if we looked, I'm just checking now, we have, I think, got some slight divergence where we've got lower lows on price and we've got basically higher lows on RSI. So that told us that there was here some regular bullish divergence as well, which signaled this move up here. So that's really nice to see. And then we've had an ABC. This would be some sort of contracted correction here if it finishes here. And again, we see these nice wicks down below, which often signal low points, or even if they're above, high points in the market and potential turning points. So that is really promising at the moment. And we're seeing some nice movement up with Ethereum. And that actually is reflected pretty well across the board at the moment for this morning. On Solana, we saw some heavy selling yesterday. We saw some positive news regarding ETFs, by the way. They got an ETF, launched a Solana ETF in Hong Kong. There's lots of ETF talk. They're going to have a spot ETF probably very soon. As soon as government is back in America, they're on a government shutdown at the moment. As soon as government is back, this will be one of the things on the order book to get done is the regulation and authorization of a Solana spot ETF in America. that should provide a lot of capital to come into Solana. And I think this sell-off is just basically a precursor to a massive move to the upside, I think, as soon as that happens, hopefully not too far away. So the market is beginning to rebound this morning. And don't forget, we're getting closer to that interest rate decision next Wednesday, where the Fed are almost definitely going to be cutting interest rates. So let me just move that. And we'll look at the Fed Watch tool here. And we can see that there is a 96.7% chance they're going to cut rates by 25 basis points next Wednesday. Then, of course, we also have some important information tomorrow. We've got inflation news out of America. This will have a big impact on interest rate expectations and, of course, on on the market as well. Consequently, it will affect the market because the markets are driven, even the crypto markets are driven quite a lot by economic fundamentals. So we need to watch that carefully tomorrow and see what happens. As I say, we have really, this has been a very good invalidation point. So beginning this 5 waves up, we know that a correction should not go below the beginning of the impulse. And that's exactly what's happened here and here. And so I am reasonably confident that that is the low in the market. That is the area to watch our risk reward. Basically, if we're putting a long position on at any of these dips, our stop loss should be just below here. And if we do break that level, then our count is wrong and you should close your position. But at the moment, it's holding out beautifully that every test lower is not exceeding this the start of this impulse higher down here. And so that's a really good area to potentially take a long position in the market. Same goes pretty much across the board for looking at all the assets. They're waking up this morning. We had some very good movement on Link, which is one of my favorite assets because it has great utility. Once again, we have a very nice clear 5-way move to the upside here, correction here, and we're starting, I think, to move on another impulsive move to the upside here. So that's very positive. Again, wherever we look across the board, even the SPX, the S&P 500, following quite a sharp wave 4 correction, I think we're beginning to move to the upside, or it may possibly even have a double top, who knows. But at the moment, S&P is looking impulsive. And at the moment, you can't fight against the markets. Basically, don't go against the trend. Even though there are warning signs out there, whilst the trend is still going up, it's a mistake probably to bet against a prevailing trend. And the prevailing trend is still very much higher for these markets. And just nice to see as we close, Solana is still pushing higher. We dipped at last night, we dipped at 177. We're right now at 187. So up $10 in just a couple of hours, a few hours since last night. So all in all, still bullish on the markets. I expect new highs to come, probably new all-time highs to come for Bitcoin soon. Same for Ethereum. I think we're going to see a good push up for XRP, for Solana, Litecoin. They're the next ETFs that are probably likely to be authorized in the US. And all risk assets should take a nice push to the upside round about this time. So again, hope that's helpful. Thank you so much for listening and catch up again soon.